What? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project. Game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all that good stuff. So today we're going to pick up where we left off, and we're still focusing on the bow, right? And what I want to do today, if possible, I'll need to look up how to do it because I'm not very much a material editor kind of guy. And Jonathan Alvarez, thank you so much for the kind words. I'm glad we were able to be inspired. I'm glad you're taking things away from that, so much appreciated. Hey Trey Live, what up, yo? So yeah, what we're working on today, whenever we fire an arrow, obviously we lose one of the arrows in our quiver, right? And then after some sort of delay, we slowly regain them back, right? And so, although we have the visuals of everything, we're going to be playing from somewhere up here, right? So I still want there to be some sort of visual and obviously some audio cue at some point later to show whenever a new arrow is added and whenever you reach full, maybe it can do some special color. And if you use all of them or something, it will kind of pulse red or something. Just so you can kind of have a visual cue of how you have, but also when you fire, obviously I want there to be some sort of UI that we'll need to be working on. I still need to do some R&D on some UI, so if anyone has any good references for, like, not diegetic, but kind of in-world UI for, like, arrow counting and stuff like that, that would be cool. So I need to make a material, and obviously the material I make needs to kind of affect the quiver in some way, so I need to figure this out. So I need to find my bow weapon. Bow weapon base, I guess. And yeah, we have SM quiver. And then this has, under details, a material instance. And then this has some master material. And, it's pretty straightforward, this master material, luckily. But I'll need to figure out how to kind of make a pulsing effect, I guess. So I would probably want to make this a duplicate material. So I'm going to I don't know, it's not going to be systems or VFX or anything. I'm going to just go to materials. Let's do weapons. So we'll grab Master E. Copy. I'll just rename it so weapons master. And then we'll also grab a copy of the mesh. So we should have weapons, bow, this materials and stuff. I'll just put a meshes in here. Grab quiver. Copy. Use this quiver. And then I'll probably have to make a duplicate of this. I don't know why I use this. Why? Well, and my quiver is here, but yeah. So I'll make a duplicate of this as well. Let me go materials, weapons, bow, and we'll just put like the quiver in here. I think it's my quiver 1. Make a duplicate. And let's grab our version of the quiver, our version of the arrow, material instance, and then let's reparent that material instance to our master material. And we really shouldn't see any changes. And now we're working on assets within our own thing. So, step 1. Now, to be honest, I don't know how to do any of this next part. Let me go into the master weapon. So, like, I have to do some sort of panning of some effect, right? So let's see, UE5, P plus, not plus, material, add panning emissive effect. Yep. So I need to animate the texture coordinates UVs of an emissive texture using a panner node and feed it into the emissive color input of the material. So I have to create a panner. So far so good. Drag your texture sample into the graph. So I don't know really what I need. I'm thinking it's just like some. I just noticed this fucking light is crazy. I fixed that for a second. And let's turn on some other light. So I need some sort of texture, right? Let me see, glowing effect. Let me see if I type in my content browser just glow. So there's color curves and these textures. There's this glow, decal, this M glow. This one. So this T ember maybe could be enough. We can at least try. I got the texture sample. And I'm guessing, I don't think that really is where it needs to go. So drag your texture in, add panner node, right click, search panner, connect the output of panner. Oh, okay. To the UVs of this, yeah. And then speed X and Y. I'm guessing Y is what we want. Let me take out this. Let me make this a paint. What is it? Plain. Just put this in a emissive color. What do I get? Yeah. So kind of. Well, let's grab the quiver. So obviously we see this. So does it have to be the other direction? So sort of. That looks kind of interesting. Yeah, the sun was right outside trying to learn. Yeah, just peeking into the window. It's like, let me get on this. So yeah, like there's a pretty obvious like tearing here, but doesn't look great, obviously, but you know, we'll have to see. Maybe, well, I can't really make a, I guess I could make a version of this, but there's also this down linear texture. Maybe that will look okay. That looks cool, but yeah, definitely not the right way, I don't think. For some reason, that's just not working. Test some sizes here. I don't know, is there a better effect to use? Just look up texture, I think, and we can look, see what we have in our library. That's all ability stuff, so. Do we have any kind of generic looking things? Stuff like this. That's just a fading thing. But maybe I can pulsate this? Or rather than it being a panning, it could be like a pulsating. Let's look it up. Okay, so we can use time. Fine. Constant bias scale. And we do like lerp. Maybe like that. Sign, period. Can I do another multiply here, or is it like an add? I don't know. Is it an add? Hey, techniques. Maybe it's an add. So I want to do a multiply for a color. What's up? Currently just working on some materials just to kind of glow the quiver whenever we get ammo or lose all ammo, don't have ammo, stuff like that. So we're gonna say glow effect color. So for example, when you don't have any arrows, maybe we could do something like that. Maybe we can also tone down like the like it just depends on what things look like from like a distance, you know. But for example, unless I need to catch up on your videos, yeah, feel free. You know, I think our streams are saved on YouTube and on Twitch, but so there should be like a switch. Static pool. Or what? There should be like an if, right? Or how is it bested? Like, what's the word? The 5 material, add pool switch. You can use the switch node in your material function. Okay, so it was that. So switch. So default's the constant thing. The switch. Oh, cool. Static pool parameter, I guess. So activate glow. The default is this. So I guess it would be more like it's this, and the default is this. And this goes to a missing color. What's wrong? So cannot cast between non-numeric types. Let's turn to YouTube. I need to find a good tutorial for highlighting a pickup item. That's kind of what I'm doing at this point. Let's see. I'll share the video with you guys. So static switch. Okay, so I was looking at the wrong thing. So can I do static switch? Value this. So activate glow if it's true. Do this, false, do that. And then throw this in here. I hope. If this is false, like that, right? So it just kind of start glowing. Can I parameterize this? Weird that I can't parameterize the sign value. But okay. Let's see if in theory this works, right? So inside of weapon base, we have a listener here for like the projectile stuff, which works. So we essentially got to say, is it greater than? Well, that's the absolute value. So let me do a custom event. Modify quiver material. Because this might be some functionality that maybe I wouldn't put into the child, but we'll see. So modify quiver material. So B arrow added. And we can call modify quiver material. I'll have to compile. And so what we want to say is it greater than 0, right? If it is, this is true. So what we could do, we then need to get the material and stuff like that, which maybe we need to make helper functions for. Took a break from loading animation, switched to 2D animation for a bit, picked up Cobra's core. Oh my god. Cobra course. That's so hard to say. What the fuck? Cobra Code's core. Yeah, I've been watching that a little bit too. I bought it myself just to check some of that stuff out. Let's make a helper function. So get material from the turn that. That, like that. Hopefully that's kosher. We do that. It is valid, of course. And then we'll say, so set material. Is there like set bool parameter? It's audio. So how do I? We can look at over here. We have emissive strength. So we should have glow effect color, which we don't. Do I have to save, or is this the wrong one? Let's step back a second. A bow weapon base. We got quiver. We got you. We got MI quiver. We got you. Yeah, there we go. So activate glow. Emissive strength. There's no. Did I not make it a parameter? Oh, there's glow effect color. What is only that, right? Okay, so is there a conversion here? Convert to constant? No. So vector parameter, right? Is this not like, yeah, static? Does it not show the is it a global? It's weird. Yeah, it was really tough to say. Vector, right? Like, am I crazy? Don't need a nanite over material, but like, am I crazy? Why is it not showing in the material instance? I was saying parameters which are not connected to the output node in any down path are not shown in the material instance. Cool. Okay, so it's saying if I make this activate glow, then the glow effect appears. Okay. Interesting. I suppose that makes sense. But now I want to know UE5 material editor parameterize sign period. The parameters period of a sign node, you need to divide the time node by a scalar parameter rather than changing the period. Okay. So let's put the period back to 1, I guess. Make you a scalar parameter, and we'll call this glow time. It's glow time. 1, I guess. So seems reasonable. Jevons Chairs Game Dev, you still at CD? Yes, I am. It's going to be 4 years in September. See the color changing. I don't know if I want to. Maybe I need a glow strength as well. Maybe I can also do like a multiply for this. We'll see. 1. Keep forgetting you're with them. Yeah, true. Yeah. The glow is looking fresh. So fresh, so clean. Thank you. But yeah, I've been working with CD Projekt for a good while now. It's kind of surprising because I was working at People Can Fly, and that was for 3 years. And that felt like a long time. But now I've been at CD Projekt for even longer than that. And it doesn't feel as long. So I'm curious how visible that will be down the line. But again, is there any way to change a bool? UE5 set bool parameter in material instance. Be a blueprint. There you go. Let's see. So it says so they're static pools, which I guess yes. So instead of that, can I scalar? It's an error. Okay. Doesn't do it that way. That's weird though. do some R&D here. Didn't help. Then you can convert into a material instance. Okay, so they're saying lerp or an if, so let's see what a lerp looks like. So true, false, alpha, scalar, say B, activate flow. I'm still trying to get myself to AAA Studio since you were at PCF. Oof. Yeah. I mean, every day, every year is a chance to grow. So I keep going, keep pushing. Like you'll get there. Like I still have imposter. Ow. I still have like imposter syndrome. Like all the time. I never feel like I'm doing a good enough job, you know. But you know, we keep pushing. Try to get better. So that works okay, but I wonder if an if is better. So if A is greater than B, we do that. Less than or equal. This, maybe that'll work. Really want to start getting a portfolio together once I get some experience under my belt, for sure. Like I was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of lucky in that when I applied to PCF, at that time I was in Serbia, and I was still doing tutorials and stuff like that. And I had also written books. So by the time I was applying to PCF, most of the gameplay team had known who I was just because of my tutorials and stuff like that for Unreal 3, or yeah, UDK, Unreal 3, Unreal Engine 4. So I didn't really have to do much in terms of like a technical test or anything like that. I guess I killed the interviews and then I got from there. And now that I have at least Outriders under my belt, I don't have much of a portfolio website. You know, I can kind of just deal with people. I tell people, you know, when I apply this stuff, I'm like, hey, you can check out my YouTube videos and my Twitch streams. If you want to see how I work, you can check out my projects there. This is my resume. This is what I've worked on. So to make things a little bit more streamlined. So I feel pretty lucky about that. So yeah, let's see, set. Oh, this is a, I wonder, set material, scalar value, and then there's a collection, parameter name. Maybe I can use a collection, but I don't know, maybe it's not necessary. So dynamic, create dynamic material instance. Can I use self? Any sense of the word? We'll try self. We're going to set scalar parameter. Add material, I guess. Material name, deactivate glow. We'll set it to 1. Let's see if anything happens. We should hopefully get here. I think I'll begin play, which we don't. So that's not good. Let's see. Oh, we do get there. Awesome. Thanks, Devin. I definitely need to keep working on my portfolio. I'm curious to know how your edges are coming out so perfect, though. What edges? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh. Like set material. The lines connecting your event graph are am I crazy? Ah, okay. Yeah, it's a plugin. I think it's called Electronic Nodes. Let me make this color crazy. Let's activate glow, and yeah, you get that, right? Glow strength, we can put it to 1. Let's just, so by default, that should be glowing red, right? Yeah. But I think that kind of communicates it. Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for, I always forget I have that creator code for Devin Sherry. Thanks for that shout out. But I think that's readable. Like if you're out of arrows. But again, I don't want it to be activated by default, right? So if I make this 0, is the work that I'm doing? No, like it's just not, for whatever reason, getting applied. So let's put player character as the world context object and try again. Okay, so we know that's not the problem. How does this thing print? Did we use this plugin at work? I think so. I think we have it. So it does pass in some ID. We use electronic nodes. I think we also have, we can opt in to use darker nodes. Pretty cool. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. Because yeah, we create dynamic materials. source material. Is there any other create dynamic material instance? No. Unless we have to do it here. Oh, create instance. Oh no, it's written as parent. There should be a set material. Do I have to have a static mesh component? I wonder if I can add it on my side without pushing it. Yeah, you probably would have to. What's the word? The when you create the GitHub file, the stuff that where you can set which directories you can exclude. I don't know. My brain is not working today. Yeah, clearly to the ignore. I don't know why I forgot what it was called. Yeah, you can add the path to the ignore, so you'll never have to really worry about that. So I do have an extra weapon material component. So set material. All right, I think we got it this time. Yes. So obviously it would be red when you have no arrows. So we'll have to do those kinds of checks. So we need to do... I wonder if I can use self here, or if it'll break. I can still use self, so cool. So modify quiver material. By the way, I love this idea of glowing the equipped quiver. Much appreciated. But again, I want it to be, by default kind of static, but like every time you regain an arrow, for example, like I would want there to be kind of like a short glow, like boom. And then when you're out, it shows like this. So potentially, so I don't want to be creating dynamic materials all the time. Let me make a new section here. Materials. Validated get, I suppose. So I would say, so every time, we honestly want to activate glow, but then if it's false, at the end of the day, we'd do something like that. So let's say if the thing was added, what we would want to do, we can glow effect color. I also have to do a vector parameter here. For now, we'll just do some colors here. So green. Otherwise, red. perfect. And we set the material. And then I would say, it'll probably be a timer like that. Yeah, like 1 seconds or something, or just 1 second. We call it clear color. Probably got to be a better name than that. Is your player able to pick up arrows that have been previously shot? No, I don't want to support that kind of stuff. So once you shoot an arrow, it's taken. But you'll be able to passively regenerate back your arrows. So you'll see, like as I'm shooting, there's one less, and then eventually I have 0. But then they start popping back in. And you can see, not sure if I want it to be, I don't think I would constantly want it to be green as in like, you're good. But yeah, like. So let's see. Clear color after maybe. Let's do 25 seconds. Maybe I would also want to affect the period now as well. What was the name of that parameter? Flow time. Well, I don't know if it needs to be double or half. Yeah, I'm curious if that's what I want. Like, do I really want this thing glowing all the time? Because, it could be full for a long period of time. I do know I want it red glowing when it's empty, so when you're out of ammo. I think clear color will just work when I just set this back to 0. Let's see. In theory, it should glow for like a second. Yeah, that seemed okay. It kind of messes with the times, but yeah. It kind of gets the point across. Then I would say it's like when you have none left, we could potentially say from get attribute base, just get attribute current and we could make this looping, could make a timer handle out of this, so the timer handle. We can say, hey, this is greater than 0. True. This and clear timer handle. So that. So this should allow it to kind of remain red for as long as I don't have any, like it's flashing, and then it starts turning green again. But yeah, it kind of, I don't know, some reason, like, the timing is messing up. I don't know if there's a way to, like, reset the time. Hmm. I think what would make sense, honestly. Because the issue being, like, depending on the timing that's happening on the background, you know, like, the glow effect may not be as prominent. So maybe I need to kind of control the curve myself. I don't know what constant bias scale does. Yeah, you can see it kind of blinking in a weird way. So I could possibly map it to that downtime that I have. Oh. There should be generation time. Provided by like 2. What am I even getting to this value? I don't know. I'm getting 0.5, so that seems to be the same. Oops. Also setting the timer a bunch of times, so. Is this game downloadable anywhere? No, it's not. Not yet. I don't know when I'm gonna give it some sort of demo or anything like that, but and look at the open source. It's only the code, obviously, none of the assets, but you can check it out on GitHub. So, something tells me this isn't gonna look good. I'm guessing, because if I make this 0.5, it should behave relatively the same, right? I don't think I can use a timeline here, so, and I don't think I have tick for this kind of actor, so, Yeah, so I don't think relying on time is very good here. Yeah, join the Discord. Hopefully it'll be released at some point, but for now it's just a fun little project to keep me smart or try to make me smarter. So. I wonder if it's enough for it to be more of a binary switch. That. Yeah, I think that works better. I just wonder if I can be more subtle with it. Like, I don't know if it's like an alpha thing. So I can't, like, because if I change the color, like, for example, the red, right? If I decide to shoot down the alpha, like, by 0.3, is that reflected in the way I think it would? Not really, but... We'll have to see. Also, for whatever reason, the first shot doesn't do anything. So also, it's constantly... Whoop. They're constantly getting this breakpoint as well, which is sort of annoying. So I think there's a passive ability that's handling that though, so it shouldn't be attempting to modify this. So GA weapon regeneration, right? So oh, I can just make this true. But I shouldn't be getting this all the time. So let's try again. I should still get it the first time because we're initializing stuff. But after that, it's good. So shoot once, bam. We go to modify, go down. Oh, I know why. Because we create the material instance, but we don't actually then apply this part of it. So I need to check this out. Yo, what's up, Cody Banana? What's going on? Everything's good over here. Hope you're doing okay. Hoping this is valid if I just connect it like that. It's not pretty, but I think that works. I think it's a decent indicator. You know, again, I'm not an artist, so we'll have to just see how it looks. But I think it's good enough communication to the player that, hey, you're okay. And if you don't see any color, that just means you're, you know, at full. Like maybe there could be like a special effect when you reach full or something. So it's like green, green, and then like brighter green or something. But now I want to update the charge arrow attack so that it can actually use all of the arrows that you charge with, and then I'm gonna have to do some stuff for like charge time. So every like half a second, you hold half a second, adds a second one, half a second, adds a third one, up until like some maximum, either visually or based on how many you have in your quiver. Let me just make sure this aim offset still works. Yeah, we still got the awesome aim offset that we did. So we can shoot enemies above us. I don't know how it'll be applicable at some point, but... And then we also added some weapon trails and stuff to our dagger combo, and we have like this cool like trails that happen when you do this like spin attack. So after we do the bow loop, at least a decent, at least the first pass, the movement of the character looks good. Thank you. Yeah, like at the beginning I tried using motion matching, but I felt like it was too much upkeep and too much like animation upkeep for what I really wanted. Like, I'm fine with this character moving pretty loosely, you know. So after we do that, we do the bow, we'll go back to this dagger loop and just kind of figure out what we want to do with this. Try to make it fun. But also when we do the bow and arrow, we'll also start adding cards to it. So we can have cards that can like prevent you from doing like taking arrows out. You have free arrows or something that increases your max quiver value to some value. One cool property of my arrows right now is the charged attack. It has ricochet bolts, so when I shoot and they hit, you know, they kind of bounce off each other. And right now, they just apply fire damage just because I wanted to have something interesting happen. But yeah, there could be a cool passive that say, okay, your bolts are now ricochet bolts. Obviously, we still have our fireball ability as always. Yeah, we'll also add audio cues to the bow when you have no more arrows left or when you regain an arrow. So yeah, let's work on the charge thing. Enough talking. It will be the last thing we do today. So let's see if we can get something working. So we need to go to, I think, hold. Special hold. So this is where we're holding, and then we need to, I guess we need to have a meta attribute that can like kind of keep a count for us. But I don't know if I want to track it that way. I'm not sure, because the hold and then the release are two different abilities, so that they're not fully aware of them. How's Dragon's Dogma 2 going? It's good. I quote unquote beat it. Like, I fought I don't know what kind of dragon it was called, but the main boss guy, and then I defeated him. I lost all my pawns, died. I used all my wake stones, and then I beat the game. But then, because there's the part before, you know, you talk to him. So you talk to the dragon, and he says, okay, you can either leave or fight me. So I chose to fight him. And when you go to fight him, you know, you fly on him from some distance. And I started climbing around him, and I saw the exposed heart, but I had no idea what to do with it. But I was like, that's interesting. I don't know why that's glowing. I'll have to look it up. Of course, I looked it up. And so then, yeah, you use, I forget the name of that blade, but that blade you restore, you can use it to stab his heart. So now I'm like in this underworld endgame area. I'm not sure exactly if it's endgame or what the deal is with it. I just got to that area, and then I put the controller down for now. But yeah, I definitely enjoy Dragon's Dogma for what it is for right now. Story really felt abrupt towards the end, so hopefully the area I'm in now is just more extension of the story. So we'll have to see. Did you animate it by hand? So everything visual is from Fab. I just do tweaks and adjustments to timings and stuff like that. I did introduce the animation of the bowstring, and I synced it up with the drawback animation and stuff, and I tried to position things correctly. So even though starting it's not perfect, from the distance we're going to be, I think it shouldn't really matter. So yeah, our problem right now is the abilities for the hold and release are in 2 different spots. So we're gonna need somehow track it. So we have hold and then we have release. And yeah, we do this for loop for projectile count, which we arbitrarily set to 10. This is something we'll need to kind of adjust for. So maybe a meta attribute is okay. I don't want to be applying a gameplay effect just for the sake of a counter, but maybe it's okay. You know, I could also do the counter in the weapon as well, but maybe that's just not good. Oh yeah, we have our defensive action with our dagger. I want to make it so you can like deflect projectiles and stuff like that. So we'll also have the diff for the daggers. Like I want each weapon you can use to have like, you know, a specific combo and specific specials and a specific defensive action that kind of fit the fantasy of that weapon. So for like the sword and shield, for example, you can parry, and you can block. And then for like the great sword, you can absorb the kinetic energy or something, and then you can use that kinetic energy to make your special stronger or something. Well, one mechanic that I want to take from Dragon's Dogma's greatsword is like if you time the basic attack, you can kind of keep the momentum and keep swinging, rather than if you mistime it and you have like the kind of longer recovery. So I kind of want to see if I can implement that as well. I like that idea. Yeah, so yeah, the bow. I'm gonna track it in the weapon for now. I think it's an okay idea. Don't quote me on it. So let me just make a new custom event. So update weapon counter. Custom integer count. Maybe not update weapon counter, so update weapon projectile counter. I can't even do basic movement like moving forward and stuff without watching tutorials or reading docs, so this is very impressive to me. Don't get me wrong, I always go back to tutorials all the time. So don't feel bad having to kind of revisit things all the time. What's more important is understanding what you don't know and asking the right questions. Where it's like, okay, I know I can do this, I know what I have to do, but you know, how do I do it? Whereas some people even have that problem of even knowing what question to ask. So if you know what questions to ask, you're already a step ahead. So don't beat yourself up too much. So in our special hold, we're just gonna do some fake. We're gonna do some fake ass shit for now, and then we'll make things attributes later. How are those users chatting? They're on YouTube stream. So we streamed to both Twitch and YouTube. There's some people from YouTube and some from Twitch. So we got 4 people there, and we got 3 people from Twitch. Just gonna call a function called add projectile. What we'll do is, assuming we can get the weapon, right? So secondary weapon, projectile. Well, no, that's not what. Update weapon. All right. And then we'll do a loop, right? Not loop, but set timer. Fine. Event. Timer handle, of course. So hold charge. Hold charge. Timer handle. Looping, yes. Time for now will be 0.5, but that will be an attribute, I think. So true, I know the syntax, but I don't know how to do what I want to do yet. Yeah. And that's totally fine. And, you know, once you start going into C++ as well, all the knowledge from blueprints will help you. Because, again, you know what you're looking for, right? It's just like, how do I translate this into C++? We got a special guest coming in. You can't really see her too well, but Kitty in the basket. Boo, do not jump. Do not jump. Oh. For those not familiar, this is Boo Boo, aka Lola. One of the best kitties around. But I'll let her go. Sometimes she sleeps in the basket I have next to my desk here. Maybe she'll join us in her own will. Do you have a link for your gas course? So this project was supposed to be my gas course project. But then I just felt like I wasn't really going in any sort of direction with the project. I was just building mechanics and the idea that I'll make a course. But then I came up with the idea that I'm working on right now, which is trying to mix the gameplay of Hades with the card and deck building aspects of like Slay the Spire. And so this is what we're working on. So there's no real course. There was, what's this? Yes. Oops. Project. Hold on. Because I had an Unreal Engine forum thing that I was trying to update every once in a while, trying to be clever, but then time and my energy spent is dwindling. I can always point you to the development blogs so you can kind of see where we were coming from. So we have a 0.5 second thing. We're going to make the timer. That, add event. So we're going to do, or we'll really name this update charge count. Call this add projectile or something. Of course, I think we need to be, tracking this rather with an integer ourselves. So we do that. Tag count. We'll always set it to 1 by default. What we can do, well, I guess we don't have to add it to 1 as default. We can make it 0. Do count plus plus. This in, connect this in, like that, like that. When we do that and set the timer, we will also automatically call add projectile count. And yeah, we'll have to eventually clamp it, I think. But let's see if this makes a difference. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it still shoots 10 because I'm silly. Because now on release, we have to grab the secondary weapon, and we need to get that value. So get temp count. Set this to count. I hope that'll work. And I could put a breakpoint here. We can check. I should be able to then say 1, 2, 3. So probably around 5 or 6 is what we're setting this at. Yeah, 6. So if I hold 1, we shoot 1 charged, 1, 4 charged, 1, 2 charged. And obviously, I don't think we're setting things back to 0 when we're done. So we gotta make sure we do that too. After hold, or release, I should say. Say end on ability, set time to count 0. So now, if I go, for example, I hold it 1, if I shot 2. I definitely gotta do the angles better, I think. It's like they're really far apart. Like when I do 2. But I also want to clamp this, clamp 0, and current arrow count. So now, no matter how long I hold it, I should only release 3. I think that was 3. We can look at this in slow motion. Sure. Get to that full count, and then we'll let go. Oh. So, there's our arrows. That's already kind of fucked up. So definitely the wrong arm position. So that could be part of where the angle issues are coming in from. Do I use AI at work or in my own projects? I can only speak for my own projects. I use AI in a couple different ways. You know, obviously you have these auto completions and stuff, but I also use ChatGPT if I need help with anything code-wise. But from my knowledge, the visual assets from Fab, they don't use AI. That nothing was like generative AI there. So yes and no. I try to use it just as a rubber ducky, but also to like kind of carry this franchise sometimes. So this location is kind of fucked up. So actually, I see why it's actually that's not wrong. But yeah, I don't actually want it to be from that location. I want it to be from, I guess, some other position. Let me see. Let's go to the bow. We might need to add a new socket potentially. Or we could just say, you know, bone. Yeah, the string. Top by K. Top limit. So I think I'll just call this socket like arrow. Say arrow. Change. Oops, let's make sure it's applied. Save there. Then release. Change this to arrow. Hopefully spawn more in front. Guys, I don't think it's necessary to spawn exactly there. But yeah, the arrow angle is kind of all kinds of fucked up. So I feel like the angle on the edge. So angle step degrees. Let's do 5. instead of that. And I also need to change the string name as well in the basic attack, I think. Now see, we changed the scale of all these things. Because like when it's in your back, it's a smaller area, but like it's a much bigger arrow in your hand because of like the size of the drawstring and everything. I don't know how realistic it is, but I'm just going based off some of these animations. I think it's great as long as you don't allow AI to design the code. And yeah, I agree. Like, I always prompt it with something I've already done in progress, where I'm like, you know, why doesn't this work, or how can I possibly extend it? Stuff like that. Yeah, it tells me that's all wrong. Well, let me put a breakpoint in. I just want to see what numbers I'm dealing with. Yeah, so angle step degrees is 30, so that's weird. So I'm doing here, right? So max frontal angle, I'll say 10. Should make it look better. It's not going to 3. I know why, because it's not counting the 1 here. So maybe I always have to do +1. At least